This is the tutorial for 2 French braids. And here is some supplies you might need. Water bottle, spray bottle with water in it, detangler so the hair is nice and smooth, hairspray for the end. A wet brush is good to use when you're brushing out their wet hair so it doesn't snag on their hair, or a wide tooth comb. A fine tooth comb to make everything really smooth, scrunchies, regular hair ties, I'm using some already, and little elastic hair ties. So I have her hair parted with a deep side part. This part is in line with her eye. There's her nose and her other eye. So it's off to the left side of her head. And then I have another part going from behind both ears up to not quite the top of her head, kind of the top of the back of her head. But I have the hair that's behind her ear up in that part. So I've put it in 3 sections. This section will be not braided, and then this will be a French braid, and this will be a French braid. So I'm going to start on this side. So you want their hair to be damp, not sopping, so that you can still work with it, so it's not too stuck together. And this braid, we're going to try to have it come by the face and then turn and go up. So the first piece you take is going to be perpendicular to the direction you want the braid to go. So we want it to go down toward her cheek. So we want it to be perpendicular to there. Sit up tall, please. And tilt your head this way. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you're going to do 3 pieces, just like a regular braid, and cross the back, the one away from the face, forward first, and then the next, and then the next. So you've crossed it over 3 times to start the braid. Then you're going to start adding hair to make it a French braid. When you add the hair, you're going to be creating another part in the direction you want the braid to go. So I'm only going to go to there because I want it to be really close to the front of her head. So then you add hair and cross it over. And then the next piece, I'm going to make sure that I get all that hair and pull hair all the way up to the part. So I'm getting a piece that goes all the way up to the part, so all the hair comes from the part. Okay, making sure that's smooth. Sit up tall. And crossing that piece over into the center. I'm just going to keep going, making sure that the front has really small pieces coming so that it stays really close to the front. Can you look at the detangler? Okay. So you can hold it however works for you and take small pieces, not too small because then it'll take forever. But if you take too big of pieces, then it'll fall out. If your child is going to take a shower or bath before, you want to make sure that you really rinse out sit up tall, the conditioner, because otherwise their hair will be slippery. And it'll come out easier. You don't want to pull too much hair from the top because we need that hair to be able to pull the braid in the opposite direction in a minute. So, little tiny pieces from the front. Okay, now I'm going to start to turn the braid up towards the back. So I'm going to make sure it's really tight. And the pieces of hair that I pull from the front now are going to come all the way up to here because that's where I'm turning it towards. Otherwise, the braid would just go straight down to her ear, and that's not where the rest of the hairdo is going to be, so we don't want that. So, making sure that you're pulling tight all the steps before what you're crossing over. So, you want to pull tight each strand if you get a big bump before moving on. And you can use a comb to smooth out as you're pulling these pieces in.
Oh yeah.
When you do comb, you want to make sure you don't catch the rest of the braid with the comb. Okay, so I only have a little bit to go. So I'm just going to pull the last piece in. Making sure that I'm pulling it up toward the top of her head now. So that the braid ends significantly above her ear. I'm just going to cross it over a couple more times, making sure it's really tight. And then I'm going to grab a little tiny, these rubbery elastics that don't slip, and I'm going to try to put it up as high as I possibly can. Okay, and careful when you're pulling it to make it tight, because it will get all messed up because this is non-slip.